My name is David Kim. I'm a teacher trainer for YogaWorks. The YogaWorks teacher training has been developed for over 25 years, and in that time it's become one of the most well-known and respected teacher training programs both in America and the rest of the world. The teacher training focuses heavily on how to create a smart and safe sequence for students that will warm them up properly and prepare them for more challenging poses. The intention of the teacher training was to develop a style and system and way of practicing yoga that would be helpful for people who practice occasionally, maybe 2 or 3 times a week, and for the regular practitioner. One of the main ideas of the teacher training is to practice without harm. The Sanskrit word for that is ahimsa. So in our teacher training program, we focus heavily on how to prepare the students safely for challenging poses, how we prepare students to address injuries, and how we create sequences that support students while also giving them a very strong and challenging asana practice. The TTC involves not only sequencing, but how to communicate. So even if you're not interested in teaching, even if you choose to take the TTC because you want to deepen your practice, you will become a better communicator through taking this teacher training course. Part of the reason is we focus on giving very clear verbal instructions. Not every student responds to the spoken word, so we also focus on very specific body language and how you communicate with your body, how you demonstrate poses, how you use gestures, how you look at the students, how you respond to what the students are doing, and what you see are areas where they could use help or guidance. We also focus on how to communicate with touch so that our hands-on adjustments match the verbal cues that we give, so that when we touch students, we're very clear about what we're trying to communicate. We're very clear about our intention so that there's no confusion with the words we're instructing to our students and the gestures we're using with our body language and our hands-on adjustments. One of the things I love most about the YogaWorks teacher training is the philosophy. The philosophy for many people can be very challenging because they imagine that yoga philosophy is on a very elevated field that is very difficult for normal people to understand. But really the yoga philosophy is very practical. Yoga philosophy teaches us how to observe our own habits and our own behaviors and to ask ourselves, how do these habits help us, or how do these habits hinder us? How do they create suffering for us? And in that respect, the asana practice is a very good training ground to observe our mental habits, our physical habits, and in that way, once we start to notice those things, then you begin to see transformation happen. That's when the yoga practice translates beyond what is going on the yoga mat and into the rest of our lives. And I really one of my favorite parts about the teacher training is the moment when I see the students understanding the connection between the physical part of the practice and the more spiritual and mental parts of the practice. I've been teaching now for about 13, 14 years. This will be the 17th teacher training course that I've led for YogaWorks, and every time is different. I believe the students actually are my teachers. I learn so much from what I see with the students and with their struggles and their successes. And every group of students is different. Every group of students is a new batch of teachers for me. And I think what's most important for me as a teacher trainer is to tell the trainees that as a teacher, we're always students. We never stop learning just because we finished one teacher training course. This teacher training course is the beginning for the rest of our lives of learning and studying and practicing. And I believe that myself. I continue to study with senior teachers. I continually study different fields outside of yoga that relate to yoga and that can complement the practice that we do. So I believe that to be a teacher, you first have to be a student, and that's where your teaching comes from.